All right. So first of all, I would like to say good afternoon again, everyone. Thank you very much for attending our workshop today. So before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. So my name is Rotana, and you can see my full name, Paichan Rotana. I am currently a lecturer at the Department of English, Institute of Foreign Languages at the Royal University of Phnom Penh. And in addition to my position as a lecturer, I am also the coordinator of the Cambodian ELT conference that we will have our conference in the upcoming November, right? And in the current period, we are collecting the abstracts for the presenter who are interested in our attending in our conference. So regarding the Cambodian ELT conference, it is an annual ELT event. ELT is English language teaching, right? It is organized by the Department of English, Institute of Foreign Language, and Royal University of Phnom Penh. So our conference started since 2019, and I mean, since I think since before that, uh, and so far we are in the sixth, uh, yes, sixth conference already, right? This year will be the sixth Cambodian ELT conference, and our conference lasts for a day and a half, right? Uh, it happened on Saturday and Sunday. So we have the conference for the whole Saturday and then another morning of Sunday. Usually we receive around 200 to 300 participants, even during the pandemic, which we have online conference. And last year, our participant jumped up to 400 participants, which is more than we expected. And for this year, again, we will have our conference on site. So if you are not interested in being a presenter, you can stay tuned to our Facebook page or the Telegram group. We will have a registration for the participants soon. And if you are interested in being a presenter, we have a different presentation session that you can join in and share. So you can share your research, which you have around 30 to 45 minutes for sharing. We also have oral presentation, which it does not to be based on research, but you can base it on your personal experience in teaching, right? Or you can give a kind of workshop for teaching strategy, for example, and you have up to 60 minutes to that. And if you are not comfortable with presenting in the session, you can also choose a poster presentation, which you have up to 45 minutes to share your finding of the research, or maybe you share about your experience as well. And we also have discussion fora, which is led by experts in the topic, in the theme that we have selected, and they will lead a discussion and people will join in and share with one another. So if you are interested in the conference, feel free to check out our pages. And at the end of the session, I will share more info about the conference as well. So currently, this is our timeline. We begin the calling for abstracts since the 1st of May, and the deadline for the abstract submission is 15 August. So I think there are still a lot of time for you to work on your abstract if you haven't finished it yet. And if you are not sure and you did not attend the workshop last time, you can go through the meeting chat in our Telegram group, the chat in our Telegram group. You will be able to access to the video explaining how can you write a code abstract. And I'm sure it will be able to help you with the process as well. We will release the submission result by 1st September, right? Hopefully by 1st September. And then this from 1st September and onward, we will start open registration. So for those who are not interested in presenting, and you just want to be a participant and listen to our speaker, you can start registering from this period, right? And this is our conference date, which is from 23rd to 24th November 2024, right? It's on weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm sure that you can attend our workshop, right? All right, so thank you very much for listening to our the process in our conferences, right? And for our sixth Camden ELT conference, the theme of this year conference is Advancing ELT in a New Era, Teaching, Learning, and Assessment. So if you have anything, workshop, and you have any teaching strategy, topic, or research related to this theme, feel free to apply to be one of the speaker. Right, you will, if your abstract is selected, you will be able to attend the conference without any registration fee at all, right? But if you register as a participant, you will have to pay the fee. But as a speaker, you don't have to, right? So I strongly suggest everyone to submit an abstract after our session. And this is the keynote speakers in our conference. We have many famous individuals in the ELT field. We have Professor Jackson Richards and Dr. Willie Aranya. They are from the country, right? And we have Assistant Professor Chanda Sovipi, Clinical Associate Professor Chanre, Associate Professor Kanupan. They are currently lecturer, Miss VP and Mr. Bopan are lecturer at our institution, while Mr. the professor at an American university, Purdue University. So they are very important individual that have a lot of things to share with all of you. So if you want to learn from them, please don't forget to take part of our conference. So without further ado, let us get started with the workshop. So today I'm going to talk about how to write a professional biography. So in the conference, when you register to be a presenter, there are two pieces of text that you have to write. The first one is the abstract, which you have to describe briefly about what are you going to talk about your topic, about your research, which Ms. Momsarana has already explained in the previous workshop. And another piece of writing which you learn here, which is a professional biography. So to get started, let's think about this question. So imagine that you are attending a conference, right? And you see in the program that there are two similar session that you are interested in, right? On the same topic. Okay. Same topic, similar session at the same time, right? So how do you know which one to attend? For example, here, let's say we have, Mr. Panya, who will talk about writing your biography from 1 to 2:30 p.m. And also Ms. Chita, also similar, right? Creating your professional biography. Different wording, but they are about the same thing. and from 1 to 2:30 p.m. So how do you select between the two speaker, the two session? Any idea? Can you share in the chat based on the biography? Mr. Panya, the first one. Can you explain? Can you tell me why do you pick the first one, or why it is based on biography? No, second one, yeah, Miss Chita. So this kind of situation is not rare, right? I have attended uh, many many conferences, and I often see many people, right? With the same who are presenting at the same time, and they are talking about similar topic. So, how should I decide, right? Which session to attend? Sometimes the choice is easy, right? Oh, I attend the session of someone that I know, right? For example, oh, I'm a friend of Mr. Panya, so I will attend Mr. Panya session. Or maybe I'm a friend of Ms. Chita, I will attend her session, for example, right? Or sometime some of you may look at their picture and find someone who look more attractive to attend the session. Marking simply when make full name, location, work experience. Right. So thank you very much for some of your input, especially uh, Lina, I would say. Um, so looking at this alone uh, may not be enough, right? May not be enough. You cannot just say, oh, looking at the topic, they don't tell you anything. So there are two things that you need to look at when you select a session, right? The first one should be their abstract. So we have to read the session abstract to make sure that it is really what we want to learn, right? We have to read the abstract clearly. And secondly, we have to read about their biography, right? So when you read about their biography, you will understand about their background. You will see whether they are more relevant to us or not, right? Just like I think Miss, right? Miss Lina. Uh, please pardon me if I call you incorrectly. Um, so reading their biography, you will be able to know about the speaker further, right? And it will help us to decide whether their professional biography really show uh, their similarity with what we want to know, right? So sometimes they talk about this. Let's say you are an English teacher, and then Mr. Panya is not an English teacher. He is, let's say, he work somewhere else, like some of you here as a consultant. And when he talk about writing biography, some of you may attend, but for me, I may not, because in his field, in his background, the way that he write the biography might not be similar to what I do in my field, right? But and then I read Miss Chita, and then based on her biography that she is also a teacher, then I will be inclined to go with Mr. Chita than Mr. Panya, right? Miss Chita than Mr. Panya, because I find Miss Chita more relevant to my background, right? So as you see, this is how we can decide, right? So by writing our professional biography, and sometimes you can also check the quality of their biography itself. Let's say the topic on biography, but if their own biography is written incorrectly, then I think who is more reliable should be the one who write a good biography, right? So in this session, not only you learn how to write your own biography, but it will help you to identify what is a good biography and what is a bad biography. So I want you to think about it a moment. I don't think we have enough time to explore, right? So to you, what is a professional biography? What should be included in a professional biography? And why and when do we have to write professional biography? I give you a minute to think about it. You can share in the meeting chat as well. And after that, I will share my own opinion regarding this question. Okay, thank you very much. You have been very helpful. It's a summary of your personal background and experience. It should be included name, years of experience, where you work, what role, your interest, and your vision in the future. Oh, amazing. It seems like you already know a lot about writing biography. Not sure that the workshop is for you then, but you can learn more, I guess. Biography refer to a brief text that gives your reader information about you and your work. Personal information, working experience, and research interest. Expertise. Very good. I think everyone has known clearly what is a professional biography. That's amazing, right? So I won't have to share much, I say. All right, so let us go through into the topic, right? As some of us have already shared here, you are right. So, what is a professional biography? So we talk about professional biography based on the dictionary meaning. It refers to the story of a real person life written by someone other than that person, right? This is just the word biography alone, right? When you are asked to write a biography, you write a biography of someone famous, for example, and then it's not written by themselves. But when we talk about professional biography or biodata, mostly it is used in a professional setting, right, for your own work, and so you have to write your by yourself, and they kind of include regarding your education, work history, right, especially in the context that you are talking about. So sometimes you may have a different background, right? Let's say when we talk about our own identity, our own biography, if we introduce to uh, let's say to my student, I only tell them that I am a teacher, right? If I have to write my biography to introduce myself to my student, I just tell them that I am the teacher. But to everyone here, I introduce myself as a conference coordinator. So this is how we keep adjusting, depend on the context of what we are doing. So we cannot write one biography for all kind of conference, right? So we have to make adjustment and then write it in a way that fit with the relevant context that we are in. So why do we write biography? We usually write the professional biography when we want to present at a conference. So when we want to present at a conference, they always ask you to submit your abstract and your biography. So it's important if you want to be a presenter at a conference for you to know how to write a biography. And the professional biography sometimes are used as a quick reference, right, for attendee. Because just like the question I asked you earlier, uh, people decide to join your session or not depend on your biography. So if they read and feel impressed with your biography, you have more participants to attend your session. If not, uh, then they may not attend your session. So with your biography, it also allow you to connect with others as well. Because like you share what you are interested in, what you are good at, what you have experience in, right? And then people will come to connect with you based on those information. So that's how people connect with you, right? And learn from you. And this is uh, the reason that we have to be very careful when we write our professional biography. And it is also used as a professional introduction, like for example, when they ask who you are, right? Whether you introduce yourself as a teacher, as a conference coordinator, right? Or as a consultant, for example, it's important, right? Because this is what you use to provide your identity. And also you try to call attention to relevant aspect of your background. So you want to know what relevant to you, right? What skill, what experience that you have may be relevant to the conference or maybe relevant to the contact that you are trying to fit in. So these are all the reasons why you should write a professional biography, right? And sometimes it's important that you write your own biography based on your presentation, right? For example, let's say you want to talk about teaching speaking in the conference, right? I have, let's say, you talk about uh, strategy for teaching speaking effectively. But in your biography, you mention nothing related to teaching speaking. You didn't talk that you are a teacher. You didn't talk that how your research interests are about teaching speaking. You didn't mention that you have experience teaching speaking or something like that. Then in that case, the participant may not feel confident in your presentation. But if you say, let's say, oh, I want to talk about teaching speaking, and I am a teacher of, let's say, ESL program, and I have taught speaking to various group of students, right? And I have conducted research related to teaching speaking and strategy for teaching speaking, and so on. So this have proved your identity, right? This have contextualize your presentation that have the audience understand you better and they will choose your topic because of those reasons. So these are why we need to write our own biography. It doesn't need to be just for using in the conference, right? But sometimes you need to write biography as well. So usually when we talk about the guideline in writing a biography, the requirement is based on different conferences, right? Some conference may have different requirement, but the general guideline is that the biography usually is around 100 to 150 words. I have been to conference which you can only write 50 words of biography, very short, right? But it make us think like the way that how we should write our biography, right? We have to be careful in selecting what kind of information that we want to use to represent ourselves. Usually it should be around 5 or 6 sentences. It shouldn't be long because a long biography is not really a good biography, right? It should be quick, short, and concise. And another common mistake that people often make is that when we write a biography, you have to use a third person perspective. So if you write it in the first person perspective, uh, it is very informal, right? So third person here, it means that instead of saying I am this, I am that, I do this, I do that, you change to he or she, for example, right? Like here, I can say, oh, Mr. Pai is lecturer of English at blah, blah, blah. He conducts research on this topic, blah, 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 and so on. So instead of saying my name is blah, 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 and I do this, I do that, I change it to a third person perspective. So this is the formal way in writing your biography. And your content of the biography should focus on your own experience and accomplishment, but not all of them, right? Something that is relevant to what you are applying to, right? If you're applying to a research conference, maybe you want to highlight most of your research qualification, right? But if you will apply to a teaching conference, you should highlight your teaching qualification. The same for other kind of conference as well. So if you apply to, let's say, a conference of teaching and then you only highlight your research qualification, then your abstract might not be selected. So you have to make sure that you may illustrate your personal professional experience and accomplishments that is relevant to the purpose of the biography. And I know that for sure some of you may have many different kind of experience, right? You can do a lot of things, but you have to be selective because you don't have enough space to write or insert all of your experience here. And it's important to have use strong action words, right? Actually, it's very easy. You can just do a quick Google search, action words for writing biography, right? You will be able to find out what are the words that you can use to assist in your writing, right? It also have to showcase your ability and your accomplishment more detail as well. So this is what I have been talking, some of what I have been talking so far. So when you write your professional biography, you have to use formal style, right? You have to be concise and specific to what you want to write. And sometimes you should provide an example, right? A clear, specific example. Let's say instead of just saying that you are a teacher, you can say, oh, you are teaching this group of students, right? You have to be clear. I am teaching a group of adult students in year 1 and year 2, for example. And try not to use any abbreviation or acronym, right? Like sometimes they don't understand it. Let's say if I write my bio, right? I don't just say, oh, I work at IFL, because the abstract reviewer, they don't know what is IFL, right? For me, I know IFL stand for Institute of Foreign Languages, but for them, they do not. So I cannot write IFL, I have to write the full name, right? So it's the same. While some of you might have an abbreviation or acronym of your workplace or a topic, then you should spell it out. And you have to tailor your content to the occasion. Like I mentioned earlier, you cannot just use one biography for everything, right? We have to adjust the biography to fit with what context you want to present, right? And also it's good to mention your country of origin when you apply for conference in the uh, international contact, right, in other countries. So you want to state where you're from, Cambodia, right? Sometime, and if in Cambodia you want to apply to local, you may want to mention your province as well, right? It depends whether you have enough space to write or not. And what you should not do in the writing bio data is that try not to use humor or sarcasm. Uh, I should cross it out, right? Don't try to be funny or include a joke in your professional biography. As the name suggests, it should be professional, right? So try not to do that. Some information should not be mentioned. Like you don't have to talk about your salary, right? You don't have to show off that you get a lot of money from your job. You don't have to talk about your family, whether you are a second child, you are the eldest child, right? Or maybe whether you are uh, a single, right, parent or something like that. You don't have to give them your address, or you don't have to state your age, right? So these are information that is irrelevant, right, and not useful for your biography at all. And you have to be careful what kind of information you think is relevant, what kind of information you think is irrelevant. For instance, in my situation, I have two different degrees. I have a degree in business. I have a degree in teaching. So if I apply to a conference to talk about teaching, then I don't need to mention my business degree, right? Because it would be irrelevant. So you have to think about the type of conference that you are attending and check with the what kind of information you should include. So in that case, you can make your biography more concise and specific. It is shorter and it's contain only what is needed. And you should not list everything, single thing that you have done at work, right? I'm sure we have done a lot of things. Oh, I did some administrative work, I host a workshop, I attend a meeting, right? I complete this project, that project. You don't have to talk about all of it, but you may select on some, maybe one or two important one, especially those that are relevant to the topic that you are talking about. Those are relevant to the conference that you want to attend, then you can list those, but you don't have to talk about every single thing, right? Uh, it may not be looking good for you at all, even if you include them. And you should not overstate your accomplishment or flatter yourself too much, right? I mean, it's good that we show off our work, right? We try to put our accomplishment out there to show people that, oh, we did a lot of things, but you should not try to make it uh, unreal, right? In other words, you should not lie about your accomplishment, right? So try not to make something too much of a big deal, because it can backfire, right? For example, if you go and tell them, oh, you are specialized in this, you are specialized in that topic, and then there could be a real expert who go and listen your presentation, and they may ask you questions that you cannot answer. Just like I'm talking about biography, writing professional biography, but I'm not an expert, right? I just share what I know. So if there is an expert here, please do not ask me difficult questions. Uh, but I can share for those who are new, right? I can help you to write a good one, but I may be not the perfect one. Okay. So now let's take a look at this bio, right? So what do you think about this three bio? Let's say we look at the first one first, right? And you tell me in the comment, like, what's wrong with it? Dr. Jane, scientist, was conceived 56 years ago when her father's sperm and her mother's egg fell in love in the dark, warm corridor of the fallopian tube. So what do you think about this bio? You can share in the comment, right? Yeah, maybe irrelevant, right? What else? You can look at this like it's not good idea to do what. So what's wrong with it, right? Right. It's too personal, right? Too personal. Can be wordy as well, right? Uh, too much information. All right. So if you look at this bio, like a lot of information we don't need, right? What is useful is only this two word, I think, right? Dr. Jane, scientist. While the rest, I don't need them, right? It's not like you are writing a story, right? If you are writing a biography, you may do that for someone, but if you writing a professional biography, you should not, because this is nowhere professional at all. How about the second one? For the last 10 years, Dr. Scientist has immensely enjoyed handling non-cooperative cell and grumpy rats. What do you think about this part of the abstract? Is it okay to include in your biography? Not include? Unnecessary information, right? I mean, if we look at this, it depends on the context, right? But it a bit too general, right? Uh, Sometime if you talk about the topic related to all of this, then maybe good. But I think what is wrong is the keyword here, right? Uh, has immensely enjoyed doing something. It doesn't sound like a professional biography, right? It's just it feel like, oh, this is her hobby, right? But based on the expression here, it should be a description of her job, right? It's what she has been doing, right? But she used the word enjoy, right? Which is not really the right word choice, right? As we talked about earlier, we have to use a strong, action word, right? I think before that, right? So enjoy is not really a good word for using in your biography. So you have to select what kind of words that you can use. And what about the last one here? Dr. Scientist is a member of Homo sapiens species. A Homo sapiens species here is human, right? គាត់គាត់ចង់ថា Dr. Scientist ហ្នឹងគឺជាមនុស្ស so shortly in a way it's like unnecessary also irrelevant information, right? uh, of course we all are human, right? Unless you live in a world where other than human exists, right? So it's not really a good biography. All right, so we have talked so far regarding how to write biography, right? Or what is a biography, professional biography. So next, let's answer the second question. What kind of information do you usually see in a professional biography? So in this case, I want you to share your response here in Mentimeter. Okay. Okay. So here you can scan QR code, or you can use the link, and we share the link in the chat, and type in what kind of information do you usually see in a professional biography. I give you 1 or 2 minutes, right, to share. Maybe put it in the Telegram group as well. We have the first response: interest, name, work experience, right? Quality of working, educational background, that's right. Name, of course. You should not forget your name. It's also very important. Achievement, experience, educational, employment. Let me set a timer. Okay, for 1 minute. I think educational background is the biggest here. Interest, research interest, right? Professional interest. Thank you for clarification, right? Background, current workplace, okay. Current achievement, strong interest, educational degree, right? Job experience, okay. We close the response soon, right? Okay, thank you very much for sharing. I will screenshot this so that you can check out the chat. So yes, you are right, everyone. Thank you very much for sharing. So when we talk about information that you can see in the biography, there could be many features that you mentioned earlier, including name, professional background, work experience, educational background, interest, or something like that. So as you look at this biography together, Dung Lee has been working as an environmental engineer at the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources since 1995. He worked in the water resource group and is responsible for a variety of water resource projects. Dung has a Bachelor of Science (BS) degree in Environmental Science from Hanoi University and a Master of Science (MS) degree in Water Management from the same university, graduating in 1999. His area of professional interest is the impact of climate change on water levels in the Mekong River. His current project and research paper involves the measurement of change in flow rates through Mekong data and into the sea. So this is an example of a well-written biography. So if you look at the first line, right, they talk about profession. So what do you do? Dong Li has been an environmental engineer, right? And after that, they describe the responsibility. So as an environmental engineer, so what does he do exactly? So he works in blah blah blah, responsible for what, right? And then they mention the education, right? What kind of degree, right? Usually it depends on how many education that you have. You may try to restrict it to the recent one, right? Maybe if you already have a PhD, it's not necessary to mention the bachelor degree, right? And even if you have a multiple degree, you may choose to mention only those that are relevant. Interest is also important, right? But by interest here, like some of you mentioned earlier, it should be a professional interest, right? It's not something like, oh, I like to play football, I like to read books, right? Those shouldn't be included in your professional biography. It should be a professional interest, like what kind of work, what kind of research that you are interested in, right? So that is your interest. And it's also important to mention your project, something that you are working on nowadays. Uh, for this part, some of you may have, some of you may not, but it's all right. So you can include it if you have, right? What important project that is related to uh, the topic that you are presenting, right? So you can use it as your current project. Or maybe something like, oh, because you are currently teaching uh, young learner and you try to find uh, new strategy to teaching them, right? So this can be what you are currently doing, right? So you can mention them as well to show that why you want to talk about your presentation, right? All right. So usually when we start with our professional experience, like our position. For example, Andrea and Kernberger has taught English as a second language in blah 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 for over 9 years to adult learner, right? And you should tell who you are professionally, right? Your identity. For instance, Dr. Kuchanarat is a lecturer of applied linguistics at the Institute of Foreign Languages, Royal University, Phnom Penh. So tell about what you do, right? What is your job, right? How long have you been doing it? And then you should describe what your responsibility. So earlier, we say that we should not be describe every little things, right? So when you talk about your responsibility, you should discuss only the main one, right? The important one. You should not list everything, right? I know that some of us as teacher have many different responsibility aside from teaching, right? But you should not list everything, right? You only list what is relevant. If you're going to talk about in a conference about writing, let's say, or designing course, then designing the study course or something like that, then you may want to highlight the responsibility which you have to involve in creating syllabus, right? Creating project for studying and so on. And if you want to talk about strategy for teaching, then you maybe want to highlight what kind of subject you are teaching or something like that. So here, let's say during her Peace Corps service in Mongolia, she taught learners of all ages, right? Conduct annual teacher training, right? Over the past 3 years, creating, implementing employment readiness classes where he taught English for healthcare and English for retail employment, right? And after that, you can provide educational background. It can be where you study, right? Bachelor of Art and blah blah blah, right? Master in PhD in what, right? The same bachelor, master, or PhD, and so on, right? Um, like I mentioned earlier, so if there is a word limit to the bio, sometimes you can see this is like 20, 30 words already. So if you want to shorten it, you can just mention the latest degree, right? You just talk about your PhD degree or your master degree, right? If you have one, right? You don't have to talk about your bachelor or previous degree. It depends on the word limit, right? So if you have a lot to write, it's good to list all of it. But if not, you can just mention the latest or the most important one. And you have to think about your professional interest, right? Everyone should have their own professional interest, what you are interested in doing. Uh, you can talk about your research topic, something that you are interested in doing research on, right? Or something that you always enthusiastic about, uh, something that you like. For example, you have never done research on those, but you want to explore them further. So those could be your interests, right? For example, some of you could be about classroom management, right? Some of you can be about teaching strategy, right? So those can be your research interests. Student motivation, right? Anything. So it doesn't need to be something that you have work on, but something that you are keen on looking to work about on it, right? And it should be related to the presentation that you want to present as well. Like it shouldn't be anything that is irrelevant, right? If you want to talk about teaching strategy and your interest is nothing about teaching strategy, then it's not really good, right? So it should be relevant to the topic that you present. And there should be an indication of current project, like you read earlier, like what you are currently doing, what important or special project that you are working on. So for this part, it's good if you have something you want to show, but it's okay if you don't, right? It's also okay if you don't have it, because not all of us have a current project that we are working on, but maybe something, for example, you can say that, oh, you are working on uh, a research paper, or maybe you are working on or you intend to work on research soon, for example, right? You can state those. But if you don't have anything at all, it's also okay. So now let's take a look at this abstract again, right? And tell me what is wrong with this abstract. I give you a few minutes to read, right? And check, and then feel free to share. Thank you very much, Lina. Right. So she shouldn't mention about her marital status, right? We don't need to know that she is married or not. And she shouldn't mention about her children, right? We don't care about her children. Right, marriage, children. Okay, it's not clear enough. Not clear enough. Do you see anything wrong? Let's start with the first sentence, right? Dr. Hui Haim was born in Phnom Penh in 1953 and raised by two loving scientists. The first sentence, is it right or wrong? Two wordy? Okay. So should we indicate our uh, birth date, birthplace, or our parent in the professional biography? No, right? Very good. So we don't need to talk about this. So what should we talk about first? Like when we start our biography, the first part should be about, we talked earlier, yes, name, and then educational, not yet, not educational background yet. After name, yes, thank you very much, Summer. We should talk about profession, right? Uh, what do we do, right? There should be a profession. So what does she do? We know that she is a doctor, but what kind of doctor it is, right? So it should be a profession, and then what else? After profession, it should be the responsibility. Very good, thank you. So we should describe, okay, in that job, what are the responsibility that she has to do, right? It should be responsibility. Mhm. Thank you. And then she talked about uh, degree here. That is correct, right? That she talked about degree. But is there anything wrong with here, right? Dr. Hui receives 3 science degrees and is now given many tasks to do it. What do you think about this description of her educational background? Should be more specific. Very good. So what kind of degree, right? Like certain degrees, what kind? Bachelor degree, master degree, PhD degree, right? We don't know, right? So she should state clearly and just like mentioned here, given many tasks to do, like what kind of tasks, right? It's too general, right? It should be more specific. Thank you very much. And then she said that she has presented at prestigious conference in Berlin, Bangkok, Hanoi, Vientiane, and Baden-Baden, uh, which she talked about her accomplishment, right? What do you think about this? On what topic, right? Should tell the name of the conference and what kind of topic, right? That's good. That's right. So maybe you don't have to list everything, right? Just list the latest conference that you have attended and maybe the topic that you have been talking about. It doesn't need to be a specific topic. Let's say, oh, I have presented about speaking, teaching strategy for speaking, right? In various conference agent type. Uh, Rigo can tell 1 or 2 specific name of conference. Oh, I have presented, sorry, she has presented in at Cambodian ELT conference, at 6 Cambodian ELT conference, or something like that. So it should be more specific. And what about the last sentence? Highly intelligent, hardworking, and extremely devoted to her research. Dr. Smith make this world a better place. What do you think about this last part? Yes, it could be too general, right? Right. It sounds like a self-promotion. Like you try to show off, right? But where is the evidence, right? Okay, you are highly intelligent, then what proof that you're hardworking? What's there to show, right? Extremely devoted or something, right? We don't care about those, and it sound unrealistic, right? So we shouldn't try to show off. So what should we talk about in the last part of our biography? Yes, maybe our current project that we are working on, and what else? What is she missing in her abstract? Right. It should be interest, right? Research or professional interest. That's right. Thank you very much. All right. So I think from this, you should be able to write a good professional biography, right? I hope this session has been helpful, and I will share the slide with all of you. So I think we can have time for question. So if you have any question, feel free to drop in the meeting chat or unmute yourself and ask, right? Thank you. No question? You are very clear with writing biography. You can also unmute, right? If typing take a lot of time, right? ពេលខ្លះចង់សួរប៉ុន្តែដាក់ជានេះក៏វាពិបាកដែរ All right. Thank you. That's strike. Uh, you can give it a try. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think since there is no question so far, then we can proceed to the ending, right? Let me promote my conference for one last time. So right now you have learned how to write an abstract and you have learned how to write a professional biography. So it's time to prepare the abstract and try to give it a try in our conference, right? So these are the theme of our conference, right? Advancing ELT in a new era, teaching, learning, and assessment. And we have 10 sub-themes, right? Teacher competency for the 21st century, teaching young learner, early childhood education, adult education, using technology, teaching language construction, teaching for macro skill, teacher professional development, learning motivation, language policy and planning, curriculum and material development, and finally, language testing and assessment. So if you are interested in presenting, it doesn't need to be a research. It can be just a normal presentation. It can be a workshop on any strategy, teaching technique that you have used in your classroom, right? So feel free, submit your abstract now before 15 August in order to be one of the presenter at our conference, right? And now that you have learned the skill, don't forget to use it. and there will be more session, right? Sharing from our page as well as the IFL community of practice. So if you are interested in teaching English sector, right? So feel free to keep informed in our Facebook page or Telegram channel. All right, so if you don't have any other question, thank you very much everyone for attending, and I hope you have a good weekend. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you so much, sir. Have a nice
Thank you
weekend.
so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you.